Alright, let's push some buttons and see what happens here. I'm pushing buttons, I'm seeing what happens here. I have rehearsed very little for this show. It's gonna be a hoot. Alright, we are recording, we are broadcasting, we are doing other stuff. I have not yet tuned the ukulele, but that's okay because you can't see me yet because I still have the credits up. Welcome to the... I'm going to let you look at that for a minute while I engage. Actually, no, you know what? We've now got the credits up. Everybody who's here, or going to be here, should know what it is by now, so we'll just do a soft transition. Watch this fade. Here it comes. Ah. I love that. It's like production value weirdness. Hi. Good afternoon. I know a lot of chords. This chord I hate. That's B minor, which is actually part of burlap. Long may the burlap wave. And the problem with it is that you've got a bar across all these strings, and the way that these instruments are made, you've really got to like lean on the strings farthest away from you to make sure that they're pushed down and they come out sounding all right. Otherwise, it comes out sounding like, and that's not good for anybody involved. Hello, Kay. Welcome to my kitchen. Well, thank you, Kay. Got any cookies? No. I've been in this mood where I've wanted chocolate chip cookies and we don't have any, and I think I may go shopping for stuff to make chocolate chip cookies, even if it is just a matter of a tube and a spoon.
Because I can't bake.
Yeah, Amy and I have this very interesting relationship when it comes to cooking. She is a wizard with spices and flavors. I do the baking, because baking requires you to follow instructions. I love her dearly, and she will tell you right up front, she's not good at following instructions.
There's a reason I didn't join the military.
There's a reason she didn't join the military, for the which I am very grateful. Oh, well, enough fiddling about and shilly-shallying and dilly-dallying. Shall we get this show underway? As it says, today is the first day of the rest of the day. Edible chocolate chip cookie dough is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Alright, let's see. I can't even remember what I was going to do. Ah, yes, we'll start with the classic. Also, every time I start playing now, it seems like Domino, the black and white cow spot cat that we have, decides to get a bad case of the run around, go crazy, and irritate everyone else. But she does it in another room because the noises I make annoy her. There she goes now. Off like a thundering herd of wildebeests. Nothing louder than one cat running. Oh yeah, I should do a song. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's 4 foot taller, and he's got browner sandy hair. And he has a hat and tankard, and he wears that great big boots. Don't look at the credits! Don't look at the comments, Tobias. Yeah, he has a hat and tankard, and he wears those great big boots, and he wanders around in a loincloth or one of them doublet suits. That stampede noise was the cat running into this room. Camera's up here, though. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's a unique individual, no one else can compare. For he always sings or juggles as he goes about the town. He always has a great big sword that ought to narrow it down. Seriously, the cat has now run into the room, jumped up on a table, and is now looking out the window, and will probably take off in a flying streak soon. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? If you saw him coming down the lane, you'd have to stop and stare. Don't recall if it's pickles, pretzels, or if it's popcorn that he sells. You can hear him coming from a mile away on account that he wears bells. There's something genuinely surreal and silly about Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's the coolest guy in all the world, I truly do declare. If you saw my friend in person, then you'd know of whom I speak. For he dresses like a pirate, now isn't that unique? Yep, pirate with pointy ears. Elf pirate. And gossamer wings. Fairy elf pirate. And kilt. Scottish fairy elf pirate. And horns. Demon Scottish fairy elf pirate. And a foxtail. Nobody knows why. Do you know my friend from Faire? I think I saw him over there. His name is Wolf or Hawk or Raven, or I think it might be Bear. Well, we've never met in person, but I'm sure he'll be along. Hey, wait a minute. I'm talking about you. I guess I'll end this song. There we go. Accompanied by Rampaging Cat, who has managed to take up a position on the other side of this camera right here, on top of the table, staring back and now grooming vigorously as if nothing had gone wrong. I made 2 tactical errors on that song. The first of which is I looked at the comments section, because I see live comments streaming up on the side of the thing. And the other thing is I'm trying to make commentary on this cat who is, well, it's a dang good thing that she's cute. There's a dang good thing that you're cute. I'm writing a song about her. It's called It's a Dang Good Thing That You're Cute. Because she certainly has the brains that, well, she's cute. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Kat. You're really cute, and you're a danger to yourself and others. Now, okay, we're going to try this one again. This is, of course, Renaissance Minstrel, which is a filk that I wrote many years ago and just managed to get myself sorted out enough to be able to play. The nice thing about it is that it's a fairly easy song because, to be completely honest, there's not a whole lot of actual chords in the song. The problem is that the introductory lick, which is very distinctive, is a great lick. And I suffer from a terrible case of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle when it comes to rehearsal, because I can play the lick if nobody's watching. If I start thinking about it, I'm going to hurt myself. It's true. It's just the way that it works here, so. Okay, so that's once, and it was actually successful. We'll see if it comes around and I'm actually able to do it again twice more. We'll see. No guarantees. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel, minstrel. See, there we go. It's screwed up. We'll do that again. We won't do any post-production because post-production is for the week. This is a live, interactive rehearsal where you get to laugh at me making mistakes. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel, minstrel. Dear sir, oh madam, here we go. I pray thee, my lord, will you hear this song? It took me years to write, but will not take too long. It's based on a sonnet by a man named Kit, and I need a patron, so I want to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. 'Tis a lovely ballad of a wandering knight, and his lady's love keeps him up at night. His sons are lowly squires are schlepping swords. 'Tis a steady job, but he longs to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel, minstrel. Close enough! 'Tis 100 verses, give or take a few. I can write some more in a week or two. I can write in Latin if you like the sound. Sed putus usamet, and I want to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. If you do enjoy it, I can sing it there. I get so tired of wandering from fair to fair. If you must return it, send it to the king. He'll just put his name on it and call himself a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. Minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. Minstrel. Just a period I'm going through. Renaissance minstrel. Minstrel. So once again, that's Complicated Lick 5, Tobias the Adequate 1, and the Success and Failure category. But that's all right. I will eventually get that. I mean, it really is. It's like, it is just like, why can't I do it right when you're looking? See, that's what I'm supposed to be able to do every time. But as we say in the official motto of the Troubadork show, I'm not very good at this. Let's go to the next thing. The next thing is, in fact, a new thing. It is an original song that I wrote, and it is one that has been in my head for a little while, and it took a long time to get it to the point where I could actually do it well enough. I'm going to see if I can get things opened up enough so that I can actually see all the words. Because this is still relatively new to me. I'm very happy with it. This is, in fact, and the full title is, The Completely Honest and True Saga of the Rescue of Roger Gaffrin from the Insidious Clutches of the Aldermen of the Guild of St. Ives. Because this is a Renaissance piece, and therefore the title has to be almost as long as the bloody story. This is a true thing that happened back when I was a sea dog. The Guild of St. Dymphna aboard the completely legitimate trading vessel known as the Black Dawn. And the California fairs, if you have never been to one, are arranged in such a way that each group that portrays a particular aspect of Renaissance Elizabethan life is a guild. So the sea dogs are the sailors, the merchants, the scurvy knaves are. St. Ives was the burgeoning and emerging middle class, and the aldermen were kind of the village elders, the village officers, as it were, the Chamber of Commerce. And one year, they decided it would be a wonderful thing to declare that our captain, we didn't have a captain, by the way. We had a guildmaster, and that was Roger Gaffrin, but the captain had already just left. You just missed him. Tall man, big hat, big hat. Many years later, I met the original captain. He was a tall man. He had a big hat. I had no idea I was making somebody up out of whole cloth. And the aldermen decided that they were going to levy a fine and imprison the person they thought was in charge, which just happened to be our guildmaster, Roger Gaffrin. And they hauled him away. And we all just kind of sat there for a little while. Because, no biggie. But after a while, it occurred to me, Matthew, who was Tobias' anchor, bosun on board the completely legitimate trading vessel known as the Black Dawn, that if we just leave him there for too long, they might keep him. And that's not a good way to go about this. So I had an idea. I had two ideas, in fact, and both of the brilliant moments that I had as a sea dog, with the exception of the Rounders story, which I told a few Troubadork shows back, are detailed here in this song. Let me see if I can arrange this somewhat so I can see it and so that I can do things with it. All right, yeah. I don't want to look at the status bar. Make the status bar go away. I have everything in Evernote because I love ubiquity of data. There we go. I think that's going to do it. So, that's the story behind the story. Now here's the story. Now the captain of the Black Dawn, tall man with a hat that's large, was going shopping here at port and left Roger there in charge. Now Now the other dogs had fed the ship, the captain had no choice fled, and we went along with what Roger said, 'cause he made so damn much noise. Oh, the rescue of Roger Gaffrin, o'er years it grows and grows. Now much is a truth and how much is a lie, only Roger Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows. But the aldermen of this fair town came looking for their tax, and it does appear our captain in his bookkeeping was lax. So they levied their highest punishment, imprisonment and fine, and they drug away old Gaffrin down the road. We heard him whine. Oh, the rescue of Roger Gaffrin, the years it grows and grows. How much is a truth and how much is a lie, only Roger Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows. Yes, the aldermen took Gaffrin and they thought he was our boss, and the sea dogs all did agree losing him was no great loss. But then Bosun Anchor had a flash, the peril was quite clear. Roger had the key to the lock, to the hatch, to the hold of the ship that held the beer. We gotta help him. Oh no, oh the Roger Gaffrin, the story grows and grows. How much is a truth and how much is a lie, only Roger Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows. Well, the crew were thus inspired, the danger clear to see, and they rushed away to set the Roger Gaffrin free. And we rampaged to the guild house, the aldermen confront, but the sheriffs all had big white sticks, dog's head would bear the brunt. So we told those noble aldermen, without too much of fuss, that they owned the ship and the gear and the goods and the sails, and they also all owned us. In short, hi Dad! The rescue of Roger Gaffrin, the story grows and grows. How much is a truth and how much is a lie, only Roger Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows. Well, the aldermen were all aghast, and some say rightly so. During an hour of that mayhem, they bit his sleeve and let Roger Gaffrin go. It took some bravery and guile to set poor Gaffrin free, but after all that trouble, Roger still didn't have the key. Can we send him back? Oh, the rescue of Roger Gaffrin, o'er years it grows and grows. How much is the truth and how much is a lie, only Roger Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows, Gaffrin knows. Big finish, oh, the legend of Roger Gaffrin, over years it grows and grows, and the only thing longer than this song is Roger Gaffrin's nose, Gaffrin's nose, Gaffrin's nose, Gaffrin's nose. Cha-cha-cha. Not bad. That's the first time I've actually performed that ever. So once again, the live rehearsal with heckling is definitely here upon us. That is the completely honest and true saga of the rescue of Roger Gaffrin from the insidious clutches of the aldermen of the Guild of St. Ives, a thing that actually happened a long time ago before many of the people watching this video were born. Whew. Wow. I feel better for having sung it. There's a couple of rough spots in there, but I kind of like it. I should also mention that Roger Gaffrin is known for having a fairly distinctive proboscis. Big nose. You could use him for a fid, but you'd have to hold him upside down and work the little legs back and forth to get his nose in there. A fid, by the way, is a device used for working with very tight knots in ropes. Just so you know. Now, you've learned something. The more you know, rainbow. Oh my goodness. Fair's been good to me so far. This is a year where we're not going to see a lot of fairs, I'm afraid. I would love there to be more fairs. I would love to have more Renaissance festivals and other events. I'm kind of still cautiously hopeful that we will see a few things like Steampunk November happen. I love Kit's reaction, ... Yeah, I don't think, see, Kit knows Roger Gaffrin. So that's just amusing on so many levels and damaging on so many more. I love the song Life's Been Good to Me so far. I still can't play all the clever classically trained stuff that Joe Walsh does, because I'm not Joe Walsh. I couldn't be Joe Walsh. I think Joe Walsh has a hard time being Joe Walsh. But I have added another verse to my fill, which fills it out nicely. And I think it's a good way to go about it. And as Kay has said before, it is total mood. Right now, if everything was okay, there would be Renaissance festivals happening all over the United States. Southern California would be having what used to be called RPFS, but it's now just Original Renaissance Pleasure Fair. Texas will be having both Scarborough and Sherwood, which overlap by a month. And all y'all out there in the other parts of the country would be going out. Stay safe, stay sane, and make sure that you're not a carrier, a contagion, because I would love to be able to do all this stuff out there in person and get your actual feedback as opposed to seeing a few messages from people brave enough to heckle me in text when we do this next year. But, till then, Fair's been pretty good to me so far. There it is. I got a camper, forget the price. Nowhere to park it, they tell me it's nice. I live in tents made within island walls. Someone has sex, well, it's enjoyed by all. They say I'm crazy, but I have a good time. I'm moving slow, but I'll reach notes by 9. Fair's been good to me so far. My costume's made up of burlap and cloth. Takes twice as long to put on than take off. My boots are old, not so quick to put on, but I gotta wear them to go to the John. Don't quite know what I'll be doing today. Everybody say huzzah instead of hooray. The show goes on, so I just gotta play. Fair's been good to me so far. My hat's quite fancy with feathers and felt. Feels like the whole world's hung off my belt. Go hit the gate. Yeah, the patrons are out there, and man, I can't wait. Put a couple decades into burlap and dust. New verse. Gonna keep it going, cause it looks like I must. Fair's been good to me so far. I do this random fair every year. New verse. Beat up my body to get a few cheers. How long I'll do this darn thing, I don't know. But if they're gonna hold it, well, I guess I'll go. The play's a thing, and we all come to play. It's packing years into just a few days. Fair's been good to me so far. Yeah, Kit, as the sun descends from the sky, we bid all you good folks goodbye. There's a song that's sung in the California fairs. It's so ingrained, like everybody knows it. And there's a song that's sung for opening, because there's an opening parade and there's a closing parade. And so much so that some folks who used to do the California fairs came and did another fair in Oregon called the Shrewsbury Fair. And I did True Fair for most of the years that I lived in Oregon, 6 years. And they had that song as they were doing the parades. Like, I know that song! And I was like, God, they're singing it out here. It's contagious. Fair is a strange thing. We dress up in funny clothing. We act like crazy people. We amuse and entertain people who come from all over the place. Some folks actually go from fair to fair just to be patrons. And we do it. Why do we do it? We do it because it's a chance to do things, to get outside of ourselves maybe, to amuse, to make people laugh, to use skills that we don't always use these days, although a lot of us are finding those skills to be awfully useful right now as we're kind of cooped up and looking at what we can do to be just a little bit better at this whole living thing. Well, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see what the end of the year looks like. So let's get on with the stuff, man. Tip jars, I got them. If you have disposable income, fantastic. If you do not have disposable income, do not panic. But future generations will come, perhaps, and see this and throw a couple of bucks my way. PayPal.me/theadequatecoffee.com/theadequate. Coffee is an interesting model because it's $3. That's all. That's like the base. Buying a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee. I prefer my sparkly brown chemical water. And that'll actually, $3 will buy me a 6-pack. So, hey, why not? SoundCloud.com/Matthew-Laguerre has a lot of my recorded stuff. That's just audio. And you can find this show and all the other shows both on Facebook.com/Tobias the Adequate and my YouTube channel, which has its very own Troubadork playlist right there in the middle. That's YouTube.com/MP-Laguerre because the Adequate was already taken. And, of course, you can find me at Facebook.com/The Adequate, the official Tobias the Adequate webpage. On Facebook, it's Facebook.com/Tobias the Adequate. And Carpe Diem Comics is, of course, the official emotional support comic shop of the Adequate podcast, of the Troubadork show, of Tobias the Adequate, and of myself and Amy and the cats here. And you can hit them up at carpediemcomicsonline.square.site. And if you have something you want that they don't have on the website, send them an email. They probably have it, and it's just not in the inventory yet. Patreon.com allows you to support adequacy in our lifetime. Patreon.com/TheAdequate. I'd like to give a shout-out to John and Brian and Lorena and Alicia, because I promise that I will give a shout-out to them every time I do anything, because they are being my Patreon patrons, and I appreciate that a great deal. Their dollars go towards buying things like the software I use to work out the chords to burlap, and fancy microphones, and tuners, which are continually devoured by the mythical creature known as the Tuner Cabra. I think that's really about it this time around. It's Tuesday. This is show 20. And that really amazes me, man. I mean, I started doing this because I had a brief mental lapse and said, I want to do a show. I'll do live streaming. Why the heck not? What could possibly go wrong? And many things have gone slightly wrong. We haven't really had any horrible Troubadork incidents for a little while, although I gotta say that, it's always going to be like that. It's live. I am imperfect, and you are watching me anyway, and I appreciate that. So, I think that's everything for this time around. Next show will be tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the 22nd, and Kit just said something nice to me. No, Kit, you're awesome. And Kay is awesome. And Kaylee is awesome. There's a lot of people whose first names begin with K that are showing up in my Facebook feeds here. Do you guys like working shifts? I don't know. I don't understand it, but that's okay. Once again, y'all, I want to thank you for encouraging my behavior. And we'll just fade out to the cards here. And then I'll fade to black so I can put up the little thingy. Because YouTube gives me a spot to put up thingies. And this way it's not put up over my face. Yes, Kit says K is cool. If K is cool, why do they spell it with a C and not a K? These are the kind of questions that kept me out of the really expensive colleges. So y'all, take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you later. Aloha.